Okay. Hi, everybody. It's Ryan here from Pi Records. I'm here with Kyle and Aaron from the Green Reflectors. How are you doing, guys?
Great. How are you?
Good. How are things in Halifax right now?
Oh, they're very fall-ish right now. It's a very windy day.
Get a little colder.
Getting a little colder. Yeah, the heat's on now. I didn't really want to have the heat on this early, but it's on.
So, I want to talk a little bit about some of your previous releases, but I want to concentrate on the 7-inch you have coming out with Johnny on Missing Fake Records. And then we'll go from there. So you want to tell me a little bit
Okay.
about what's going on with your 7-inch?
I think it's coming out soon. Well, during the whole pandemic and the lockdown, Aaron and I got busy and we recorded a bunch of songs and stuff like that. And we pieced together a 4-song piece of work there that we're going to put out through Missing Fink Records. It's going to have 4 kind of spooky, surfy themed songs on it. And yeah, I mean, what else can we say about it? Like the fact we did some of the usually we do everything ourselves, like we, obviously we record everything and write everything and stuff like that, but we also usually do our artwork. But in this case, we actually got in touch with somebody down in Texas, and she did some modeling, and we sort of tried to mimic the Lace Jaguars Volume 2 album cover with our album cover. And so yeah, that's
we got the same font and everything for the band name and everything.
Tried to pay a little tribute to that. Yeah, because we were in Quebec a couple of years ago, and we found out about Lace Jaguars through this. We went in the shop, and the guy there was like, he's like, "Oh, you're in a band?" Like, "Yeah, we're in a surf band." "Oh, you got to check out these guys." And he just like started handing us all these records, and he gave us all these records for nothing. Like he was trying to get rid of them all. And one of them happened to be like, it was this like Lace Jaguars record there.
Yeah,
so that's kind of the
legendary Canadian, from Quebec, Canadian sort of surf instrumental band. Pretty rare record, actually.
Just
gave
here,
it to
take
us.
this, enjoy this.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a surf band. Have this record. So,
It's good
okay,
stuff.
that's great. Yeah,
It's good stuff too.
yeah. So that's, I guess, in a way, that's sort of us paying tribute to that nice guy at that shop in Quebec.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
what would you consider, as far as being in a surf band, what would you consider your biggest influences?
Well, we were just talking about this, and I said to Aaron, it's like, I don't know if I have any like huge musical influences. Like when I think about it, I think I'm most influenced by like Jim Carrey. Like when I was little, I wanted to
bounce around on stage.
Yeah, that's sort of when I was little. I remember watching Ace Ventura and thinking, I want to be that guy. That's what I want to be. I want to be wearing Hawaiian shirts and have the weird hairdo and stuff like that. I didn't go for the weird hairdo or the Hawaiian shirts or anything, but yeah, right now I've got my COVID do going on. But I don't know, I always really like Jim Carrey, and he's not even like a, not a musical influence, maybe just like a life influence, or something like that, lifestyle influence. But I don't know. What about you, Aaron? You listen to a lot of this band is sort of more your creation.
Well, like the first song we ever played live was Rumble, so I guess we'll have to say Link Ray is probably the biggest influence on like the sound of things.
Yeah,
for us. And then
for sure, that fuzzy tone.
Yeah, and then the Live Ventures albums from Japan in the mid '60s, kind of more raw, a little more distorted, and not typically what people think of as a surf sound. They kind of go for the clean and the reverb. But this was pretty gritty stuff.
Yeah, that's sort of our bag.
And that's kind of where we tried to take some of that.
Although I will say, other than the first song on this 45, they're all like the cleanest songs we've ever written and recorded. So I don't know how that turned out. Why that? I actually got this. I had this. Bring it over. This show and tell. So for years, I had lent this guitar for the last 7 years. A friend of mine had this guitar, And we went to see Shadowy Man on a Shadowy Planet play in New Brunswick. And I was like, I gotta get that guitar back. I miss my Gretsch, because that was what he was using there. So anyway, I messaged the guy. I'm like, hey, can I have that guitar back? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he gave it back to me. And then like ever since then, I've been just making songs like crazy on this. It's so different than what I'm used to playing. I'm used to playing Strats and kind of smaller guitars, but this one's like big. It's got a Bigsby on and all that kind of stuff. And it also has, I don't know how people are gonna be interested in me geeking out about the pickup situation, but when I originally got it, I was like, I wanted to do the reverse Eddie Cochran thing. So instead of having the P90 up on by the neck, I was like, what if I put it down here? And I bought the completely wrong P90 and stuff like that, and it didn't fit. It was too low. So the guitar guy that was working on it decided that he was gonna, the only thing that would work to get it up and not break was boot leather. So this is like a boot leather mounted dog ear P90 from like a Les Paul Jr. on a Gretsch. So it's like kind of the weirdest sounding guitar, at least that I've ever owned. But it's sort of been the sound of the new recordings, and it sounds really good clean, and it sounds really full clean. Like usually the reason that our songs are gritty and distorted and fuzzy is because it sort of like fills a lot of the frequency range that's not there, because we don't have a bass player, so that kind of helps fill the void a little bit. But I don't know, I found with this thing clean with reverb and stuff like that, I think it filled the bassless void quite nicely.
It's interesting. You say you don't have a bass player. Is it just the two of you?
Yeah, no, the band started, it was just the two of us there. It was Aaron's high school variety show. Like, this was 2000. We started the band in 2007. Like, that was, I can remember the exact date the band started because it was the day that Aaron bought his drum set. So November 30th, November 30th, 2007, they pulled up to my apartment in Halifax. I was going to school at the time. Him and Dad pulled up to my apartment in Halifax, and they're like, "Hey, man, you got to come out. You got to come out here and see what's in the trunk." And they're like, you know, like it's kind of that thing where you know, you open up the trunk and like the light shines. I was like, "Oh man, that's a drum set!" And he'd never really touched a drum set in his life. He sort of saw me in bands and stuff like that, so it was pretty cool. I was like, "No way, you're gonna play drums!" Like, so he saved up his paper route money. It was like $500 of paper route money. Bought this drum set. We went home that night and we started playing, and kind of the rest is history. And then we didn't really play any shows until it was the end of the school year, 2008. So it was his graduating high school or whatever he was finishing up, and we played like the high school variety show and
Played Rumble.
And
I think we got like second place in that variety.
Yeah, I think we won. I think we won second place. Yeah. I can't remember. I think there was like we might have got a T-shirt or something like that. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, but yeah, so it's always just been the two of us. I suppose if we had another sibling who wanted to play, we would have welcomed them in. But I don't know, it's just been easy to keep it the two of us there and kind of create in our little bubble and stuff like that. It's fun. It's easy. It's cheap. You know, we can for the first couple. Actually, I shouldn't say for the first couple of years. We've always been able to travel to gigs with, you know, in a Honda Civic, a very small car.
Take the whole band around in one car.
Yeah, like when we went on tour last year, we were like, it was me, Aaron, and then our dad usually comes with us as kind of our roadie and stuff like that. So it's sort of like family trips, you know, to gigs and stuff like that. But like we fit all of, like when we went on tour last year, it was all three of us, all of our gear and clothes and all that kind of stuff. And it was like a 4-door Honda Civic.
It fits.
And yeah.
It's not
drove us halfway across Canada.
It's not overly comfortable, but you can do it.
Yeah, I think you had a snare drum on your lap the entire trip.
Yes.
So, but whatever, you know.
So you said you came down to New Brunswick. I'm assuming you're talking New Jersey.
We've never actually been to the States to play shows. We've only ever played in Canada at this point. It's kind of unfortunate, but because of all the COVID stuff, like we probably would have been there this year. We had gotten asked to kind of come down to like New York and do some stuff there, and you know, we've got Johnny as a contact now, so we probably could have gone down there, but everything is kind of foobarred right now.
Last year was last summer. Lost Culture from New Jersey. They asked us to play at one of those surf
Auto Shrunken Head.
Yeah, Unsteady Freddy's surf rock shindig at Auto Shrunken Head. This guy wanted us to be his kind of accompanying band.
Yeah, the opening band
Opening
or
band
whatever. Yeah.
But it was too soon. We couldn't like work out all that
Yeah.
in a 2-week time frame, like work visas and all that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So
we couldn't do it.
So we waited to, you know, and now
Fully intended to do it this year.
Oh yeah, 100%. This I think would have been our biggest and wildest year of shows ever. Had it not been for the lockdowns and COVID and stuff like that. I think we would have done a lot of really cool things. But instead, you know, like I can't say that we didn't do cool things, because we did. We recorded all kinds of music at home and kind of got to work. And if we were out playing shows, we probably wouldn't have put out that 45. We wouldn't have come up with those songs. They were kind of birthed from boredom and being locked down, because we actually, Aaron lives in Bridgewater, which is an hour from Halifax. So he's here today visiting me. We usually jam at my house here in Halifax, but for the whole pandemic, like they locked things down. Like even like Nova Scotia was tight, and it's still tight. So like while that was happening, we couldn't get back and forth. We couldn't even go that hour distance. Like it was locked down. It was like, unless it's 100% necessary, don't leave your house. Like that's how crazy things were here. So yeah, so we just got on the internet, and Aaron's got a drum set up at home with the mics and all that kind of stuff. So I would kind of do up some demos and stuff like that, send him the stuff, and then he would come up with kind of like a drum arrangement, and he'd record a really good version of that, send it back to me. I'd finesse it, I'd put my guitar on it, and that's how that 4-song thing with that's coming out with Johnny there, Missing Think, that's how that came about. So it was all done long distance. We actually, and really, we haven't played those songs together yet.
They were all done in 2 different places, like my part, his part, and then we didn't even like practice it together.
Long distance. But it's great though. I really enjoyed the fact that like we were able to do that. It kept me kind of, I was working from home for 3 months, but it was nice because I'd work and I'd do my work and stuff like that. And then when I was done, I wasn't just sitting around being like, oh, poor me, I'm locked up in my house. It's like, no, I got cool stuff to do. We can, you know, I'm making songs, and we made more than those 4 songs. Like there's more stuff coming out. So we basically got a whole album's worth of new material that we recorded during this lockdown. I'm really happy to
did it all that same way. Like we kind of, after a few months, the lockdown kind of calmed down a little bit, and we were able to get together and jam a couple of songs. But when we record, we do a demo here, but then I take the demo home and I do a good drum track, and I'd send it to Kyle, and we've done everything this year. Every song we've recorded, we've done it that same way, where we did them separately. Yeah. Like I did my part, and then he just put his part on top of it.
Thank God for fiber internet. Oh yeah. Makes it all possible, man. No, yeah, we do all the recording and the mixing ourselves and stuff like that. And I won't say I'm an expert at it, but I do a lot of reading and research to figure out how things work. And there's sort of a specific way to mix for vinyl. So I've been trying to follow those rules and stuff like that. So I haven't actually heard the I don't even think there's test pressings yet. I think they're on their way.
I saw a comment next week expecting the test pressing.
Yeah, so I know that the sleeves are done and they look spectacular, and I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, they look great.
Oh yeah, the model. Yeah, I think they turned out really good. And I should mention the person who modeled for us there. Her Instagram handle is May C Funicello, and the guy who took the picture, it's Vic Clark Photography. I have to look up the exact, but if you search those things on those people on Instagram, you'll find them there. She's sort of like what's cool about that is it was like
we've tagged them both in our posts about that, so they should be easy to find.
Yeah, it was cool working with them, because this is during like the height of the lockdown for us, and I think down there they were sort of a little locked down too. I don't know how
Houston.
This would have been like in April or May or something like that.
Yeah, it was
Houston,
pretty.
Texas.
It was pretty tight around then.
Yeah, but I found her on Facebook or whatever, and it was cool because it wasn't like I had to kind of like ask her nervously if she'd be okay doing this. She actually had like bookings, like she was available for these periods of time or whatever for bookings to do different kinds of work. So I was like, I kind of took my nerves away. I'm like, oh, good. Well, this person actually just does that sort of thing. So that's fantastic.
The thing there's messaged me for collaboration. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it was nice to she's that open about it, you know, and instead of, you know, sometimes when you ask people to do different things, they're you know, you don't know what they're going to say because they're, you know, they're like, oh, I see your work there, and I know you do it, but would you do it for me? In this case, it was sort of, she was wide open and really open to the idea, and we sort of had like an idea for we have an older song called White Zebra, and I thought that wouldn't it be funny, like she should wear like a instead of the lace Jaguar thing, the woman in the on the album cover has like a leopard kind of jaguar print onesie on. So that wouldn't have really worked for us, but we've got like the White Zebra song, so I figured that maybe we should ask her to wear like a zebra print onesie or whatever, and she's good to go.
And also it has stripes on it, and our band shirts are striped. So it kind of ties in with it.
So it works. Yeah. So yeah, it was fun. It was awesome to work with her. And once these come out and you know, they're all together and the records are in the sleeves and all that kind of stuff, and we're shipping them out. And I think that we've got plans to do some more work, kind of mimicking some more fun old album covers with the same model there, May. So yeah. Anyway,
great.
We just blah 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 blah. We just talk on and on.
I think it's gonna be cool.
Oh yeah. We're having lots of fun.
So I want to talk a little bit about where you got started. Some of the recordings and releases you might have done before this 7-inch that's coming out now. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, when we first, what do you got?
Do you have any of them over here?
Yeah, they're down on the bottom shelf. I've kept mostly everything that we've ever done, but yeah, the lathe cut's on the top there. But so okay. So when we first started, I had like a 4-track tape recorder there, and we just sort of recorded and dinked around and did demos for the first couple of years, and then we got like kind of a digital setup and sort of really started to take off from there. But we actually didn't, you know, we started in 2007 and we had songs and we kept on making songs and stuff like that. We didn't actually get kind of organized enough to record a full album until 2015. But by that point, we had a whole bunch of songs. We'd just been playing lots of shows and stuff like that, and recording demos and stuff like that.
Made little homemade CDs,
but we didn't get together to actually record a full album until 2015. And it was kind of cool. We had it done for free at an actual recording studio here in Halifax because it was full of students that were learning and stuff like that. It was like a class. So really, our first album, the one with the hot rod on the cover, which is this one.
Oh yeah.
This is a kind of a cool. I'll tell you more about that later. It's a lathe cut record. There's only like 6 of them, I think, that exist. But anyway, so
Jack White has one.
Yeah. We'll tell you about that. So the Sonic Temple in Halifax, they I don't know if it's a thing anymore, but during that time, it was open to students to come in and just learn how to use studio equipment, and we were kind of like a guinea pig band. But I kind of came in with a sheet of things that I wanted to do, and this was like this recording session was only like 5 hours, and we only recorded for an hour and a half. So there was like the setup, and then the playing, and then the teardown was all within like a 5-hour period.
Oh wow!
And we recorded all of the songs because we'd been playing them for like quite a long time before.
40-minute album, 18 songs.
40-minute album, 18 songs. We recorded it in an hour and a half. But I mean, we wouldn't have been able to do that if they were brand new, fresh in our brain songs. They'd been around for years. So but that was great. We recorded it there. They gave us the Pro Tools files. I took them home and I mixed them. And it took a couple months to kind of get that project off the ground and released into what it turned into there. But, you know, we had it was a small independent run. We had 200 CDs made up locally, and then I wanted to have a record. So there's this guy, his thing is called One Groove Vinyl, and he does lathe cut records, and he's out of
Tennessee.
No, I can't remember, but he's somewhere in the States, and his name is Chris Bell. He's a cool dude. He's like, I guess he's like worked with Destiny's Child and stuff like that. But like in his spare time, he does like lathe cut records and stuff like that. So I think we were his first customers, and he made us a lathe cut record of our first album. We got 6 of them made up, and we kept 2 for ourselves and kind of sold the rest off and sent the rest off as prizes and stuff like that. But yeah, we thought like, oh, we had like Third Man Records address for Nashville, so I'm like, whoa, we should send one to Jack White and see if he says anything. And that was years ago. And never heard from the guy.
Heard anything, so I don't know.
Yeah, he might be a little bit.
His fan mail dump or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Probably went to his fan mail dumpster. Yeah. So, but there's only 6 copies of that record that exist, and 1 is in his possession. Maybe.
Oh, that's awesome. It's awesome that he has it.
But yeah, we kind of joke about it. Like we have a lot of inside band jokes and stuff like that. We sort of torment, and that was sort of one of the things. Well, of course, we like Jack White and the 2-piece band situation. You know, I guess coming back to musical influences, the White Stripes would be definitely a musical influence for me, because I remember when I heard Seven Nation Army, that's kind of about the time I picked up guitar, and you know, I remember I learned that riff, and I remember showing my dad, and he was like, "That's not a song. What are you talking about?" And then like a couple of days later, he's like, "I was listening to the radio, and that song came on. You were telling the truth. That's an actual song. The Seven Nation Army is an actual song, and the riff is like that." I'm like, "Yeah, man, duh."
Well, that song, there's a YouTube video on him. I think he's with one other guy and The Edge from U2, and he's teaching.
Oh yeah, It Might Get Loud.
Did you see it?
I love that documentary. Yeah, It Might Get Loud. Yeah, it's a great documentary. There has The Edge, Jimmy Page, and Jack White kind of goes through. Yeah, it was sort of like just a story of the electric guitar, kind of from each one of those musicians' perspectives. That we watched that documentary a lot, and we actually like you wouldn't think it is, but it's very quotable. There's a lot of like kind of fun lines in there. Like Jimmy Page, you know, taking the music in any direction. You know, like we always think about that. Like
we say that a lot.
We say that a lot. Yeah.
And we do it in an imitation Jimmy Page voice.
Yeah. You're very imitatable people.
Well, that's interesting that you say you like Jack White so much, and are interested in Third Man Pressing. If you guys could ever get on Third Man Pressing, just your record pressing from there, those are worth like a lot of money. Like just to get it pressed.
Oh yeah. Well, I looked online to when we so last year we had we put out our second album, and this one we actually did on pressed vinyl. It was a Plant in Canada Microform vinyl, or was it Microform? Yeah, Microform vinyl, and that's quite a process. So like, you know, as an independent band, we're using your own money to finance having records made and stuff like that. It's a big project. So I did a lot of research, and I looked at United, I looked at, you know, Third Man Pressing, and looked at all the prices and stuff like that. And like, if we lived in the United States and we were making United States that dollar, it would have made sense for us to get records done in the States that way. But because the dollar is so bad, I shouldn't say that it's like so bad. It's not great though.
No, it's bad.
It's pretty bad. It's like everything's like twice as much money. Yeah, was it how? Yeah, I don't know. It's bad. I could Google it right now and tell you how bad the dollar is compared to
the exchange rate is like 70 cents to a dollar.
Yeah, that's at 70 cents to a dollar. Yeah.
Wow.
So, but anyway, so we ended up we looked at a couple places in Canada, and we settled on Microform, and they pressed 300 of these records for us. And unfortunately, it's right before we got them, and we haven't been able to go and tour them and sell them because of the pandemic. We waited all this time. We're like, we wanted to have a bunch of records pressed for all this time and stuff like that. And
we made the big announcement that it was right in the January when we released our videos, Won't Like the Marionettes, to go along with the announcement. Yeah, we got vinyl, and then like a month and a half later, lockdown.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we never were able to go out and
How many
sell
did
them.
you get
Yeah,
pressed?
we had like 2 shows this year.
Yeah.
What's that?
How many did you get pressed?
We had 300 pressed, and I mean, they're selling okay online. I wish we could, if we were playing shows, I think we'd have gotten rid of a lot more by now, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I
But-
think you have. That's the album I have. I got from iTunes. It's on iTunes, right?
Yeah, we managed to, you know, sneak our way onto all those streaming platforms and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
we're on iTunes and Spotify and YouTube Music and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
We're everywhere.
that's how I heard that record.
Yeah,
I really dig it. I didn't get to
That's
hear
all right.
obviously the new 7-inch yet, but I'm looking forward to that too.
well, the one song that's on that record, the first song, the title, I guess the title track of it, Crypt Kicker, is also on the latest Missing Fink vinyl compilation. The one with the swamp monster and the hot dog
Oh,
on the cover there.
Monster record.
Yeah, the monster cooking hot dog record. So the song of ours that's on that record is also on that 45, but there are 3 other songs. So there's Crypt Kicker, WT Fink, Scintilla Twitch, and Cat Burglar Cut Up are the names of the 4 songs that are on that record. So we managed to time them out pretty well, because on a 45, if it's playing at 45 speed, I think you get about 6 minutes per side.
Yeah.
More like 7.
6 or 7 minutes per side. So we sort of had to math a little bit, and we kind of wrote these songs intending to put 4 on a 7-inch. So we sort of wrote them with those time constraints, and we succeeded. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
kind of neat. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you guys very much for doing this and
Oh, no worries.
taking out some of your time. I really enjoyed talking to you and hearing about the music. And did you say you were brothers?
Yeah. Who do you think's the older brother?
Now hold on a second. Well, I'm going to say this because you mentioned this, Kyle, that it was your brother's graduation that you went to. So I'm going to say you're the older brother.
Correct. Yeah, we're only a year and a half apart, though. We're really close.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
So I just turned 32, and he's 31 now. 30
and a half.
30 and a half.
I'll be 31 in March.
31 in March.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much. And hopefully after the Missing Fink record comes out, we can talk again. And
Yeah, for sure.
I want to wish you guys the best, and please be safe. And
Yeah, same to you.
And I'm going to go listen to the Green Reflectors right now.
Awesome.
Good plan.
I like it.
We approve.
All right. Have a good day, guys.
You too. Take care. Thanks.
Thanks.